You began at Katz, which was local
Mm-hmm.
stations, and now you're at the TVB. A few years later, local stations. How has the local station market evolved since you first started?
Oh, immensely. When I began at Katz in 1987, 1988, we were still using what you called Twix machines, to send all of those orders for local buys down to the stations. A fax machine was the brand new shiny object gizmo that we used to transmit all those orders. So it really was centrally and in its core about television, and really only about four broadcast networks that those stations represented, right? Because Fox was just very nascent at that time, and it was even rare that we had orders for Fox stations. So, very, very centered on television. Today, the business is completely different, just like the landscape is completely different. It's not just the television station, it's also their website, it's their social media presence in Facebook and Twitter, and how those things are working in conjunction with their site and their station. It's their mobile applications. We do quite a lot of work in helping to support DTV, digital mobile television. So, for instance, there is a lot of concern recently about not getting your local CBS station before Time Warner and CBS were able to come to terms. But if you were in some of those markets, you weren't getting your CBS station, and many people felt as though they were deprived, as I would have. And many people also did not know that they could just order an antenna from Amazon, from Belkin actually, and there's a couple other manufacturers, that actually fits right into, I don't have one with me, but it fits right into your cell phone or your iPad. And it's about this big. And you can watch live TV over the air on your phone or your iPad. There's no subscription fee. There's no, cable fee. There's nothing. It's just over-the-air TV. One of the great things about local television is, even though there's all this change that's gone on, it's still free. And it's still accessible by every American, no matter where they come from or what their means are. So that's one of the great things about broadcast as a model.
So, Stacey, looking forward at the industry landscape over the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see it going? What are some of your predictions?
Wow, well, the sky's the limit. I think there may be some folks out there that, and I read a story today that local television, has a lot of change in front of it and a lot of challenges. I look at local television like it's a vast canvas of opportunity. They have the ability to reach the largest audiences within their markets. And while reach may not be something that people like to talk about as a benefit anymore, I think that's short-sighted. I think we can behaviorally target our way around the marketplace and get smarter about reaching people, but we also have to generate word of mouth and interest, and sometimes reaching the biggest group that you can is the way to do that. That said, I think you will see local stations creating new alliances, finding new ways to be more targeted in how they offer up their services to advertisers. I think you will see them taking advantage of big data in a way that most of the media industry is now trying to do. If you looked at the landscape and said there were marketers and there were advertising agencies and media companies, the marketers and agencies are probably well ahead of media companies in how they work within and harness the power of big data. But they will get there, and I think the local stations have a lot to offer in that regard. Remembering, of course, that people make their purchases in the local market. We also buy things online, but there's still a lot to be said for brick and mortar operations. And not everything is Amazon. There's still the mom and pop dry cleaner and the local luncheonette. Certainly the automotive dealers. There's lots of local goods and services that are still being communicated and traded out there. And that's what makes our economy go. It's not just the big behemoths. So I think there's a huge opportunity for local if they can figure out how to play for national advertisers in the same way that they play for local advertisers.